Okay, today I'm going to be doing my very own Club World Cup. And yes, you might be thinking, isn't the Club World Cup just a bunch of Saudi Arabian teams and the Champions League winner? Yes, you're completely correct with that assumption, but I'm going to do the Club World Cup properly. Now obviously you'll be able to see that there's a wheel in front of me, and this has all of the countries that are in FIFA. And let's say we got Romania, for example, we'd spin another wheel which has all the Romanian clubs in it, and whoever it lands on will represent Romania in the Club World Cup. There is only actually 16 spots available, so if your nation doesn't get in, that's a shame. I don't care. And how it's going to work is we're going to have 4 groups with 4 clubs in each, and the top 2 clubs in each group advance to the quarterfinals, and then whoever wins those games goes to the semi-finals, and whoever wins those goes to final. Whoever wins that wins, and at the end we're going to make custom kits for the team that wins it. I'm going to do all the randomising now, and I'll see you once all the groups are finished. Okay, so all of the groups are decided now. Okay, so in Group A, you've got Australia, Italy, Germany and Japan. In Group B, you've got England, Spain, Portugal and Poland. In Group C, you've got Argentina, Austria, Holland and Mexico. And finally in Group D, you've got Turkey, Sweden, South Korea and Norway. Okay, let's hop into FIFA and find out who will represent which country. Okay, now it's time to decide who represents their country. Okay, starting off with Australia in Group A. And it will be Sydney FC to represent Australia. Okay, now it's time to decide who represents Italy. It will be Salernitana who represents Italy. That's a bit disappointing. Okay, now it's time to see who represents Germany. It will be Fürth who represent Germany. Another disappointing one. Okay, let's see who represents Japan. It will be Konza Sapporo to represent Japan. Okay, this is a big one. Let's see who represents England. It's going to be Burnley to represent England. Okay, let's see who represents Spain. We're hoping for a better one now. It will be Osasuna to represent Spain. Let's see who will represent Portugal. It will be Moreirense FC to represent Portugal. I'm pretty sure I absolutely butchered that name. Okay, let's see who represents Poland. It will be Stelmilek to represent Poland. Now let's see who represents Argentina. It will be Banfield to represent Argentina. Let's find out who represents Austria. It will be Wolfsberger AC to represent Austria. Okay, let's see who's going to represent the Netherlands. It will be Utrecht that will be representing the Netherlands. Let's see who represents Mexico. It will be Toluca to represent Mexico. Let's see who represents Turkey. It will be Altay SK to represent Turkey. Now let's see who represents Sweden. It will be Hammarby IF to represent Sweden. Let's see who will be representing South Korea. It will be Jeju United to represent South Korea. Now finally, let's find out who represents Norway. It will be Rosenborg BK to represent Norway. Okay, you should be able to see all the groups now. Now I'm going to create the tournament and then we can see what happens. Okay, it is the end of the group stages now, and let's see what happened. In Group A, Salernitana topped the group, with Sydney FC just closely behind. Konza Sapporo and Fürth unable to go through. In Group B, Burnley topped it whilst Moreirense FC came second, and Osasuna and Stelmilek are unable to go through. In Group C, Wolfsberger AC topped it. Banfield came second, whereas Utrecht and Toluca are unable to go through. And in Group D, Altay topped it. Rosenborg finished closely second, and Hammarby and Jeju are also out. Here are your fixtures in the quarterfinals. Got Wolfsberger AC versus Rosenborg BK, Altay SK versus Moreirense FC, Salernitana versus Banfield, and Burnley versus Sydney FC. So this is how it finishes after the quarter-final rounds. Rosenborg BK go through 2-1 on aggregate, Altay SK go through 5-3 on aggregate, Salernitana go through 4-2 on aggregate, and Burnley go through 6-2 on aggregate. In the semi-finals, you've got Rosenborg BK versus Altay SK, and Salernitana versus Burnley. We will be watching these 2 games and watching the final as well. Okay, it's the first semi-final tie now. Rosenborg BK against Altay SK. There is only one leg, so after this game we'll see who goes through to the final. Okay, Rosenborg get us kicked off here in the semi-final of the World Cup. It's with Skarsum now. Rosenborg on the attack, Skarsum with the ball. Skarsum gives it to Noah. Noah has a shot and it's in. The first goal of the semi-final tie goes to Rosenborg. It's Noah with the goal. It's really poor defending from Altay, but Rosenborg definitely aren't complaining. It's Kappel on the attack now. It's tackled by the defender. It's Karatash. Karatash still. Can he find someone in the box? Gives it to Poco. It's cut out by the defenders. Skarsum gives it to Borchfeet. The cheer. With Noah. Holster. With the cheer. Skarsum now. It's a great bit of skill from him. Still Scarson. Altay with the ball. And he is tackled by the defender. Gets now. Now it's with Pak Chow. Gives it to Poco. Piñares back to Poco. Poco has a shot and it's wide of the post. It's Vecchia on the wing now. Can he get a cross into the box? He will not cross it. Karatash does tackle him though. Poco gives it to Piñares. They really are getting in the game now, Altay. It's Piñares. Still Piñares. He's found a bit of space. Has a shot and it's in the back of the net. That is a beautiful goal from Piñares. And you could feel it was coming. It is 1-1 now. And Altay have got back in this game. You could feel a goal was coming for quite a while now. Out on the wing. What can the number 10 do with it? He is tackled by the defender. Rosenborg just trying to hold on to this draw, hopefully getting extra time. It is late on in the game and they are attacking though. It's Borkfeit with the ball. Borkfeit with Holzer. Holzer gives it to Vecchiana. And that is full time. It will be going to extra time in the semi-final leg. Noah with the ball. It's Pashao looking to attack now. Piñares gets the ball to Rodriguez. Jensen does cut it out. With Skaldbred now. With Holm. Back with Holm. Jensen. Vecchia. Still Vecchia. Borkfeit. Out on the wing now. Can he get a cross in? It's Skaldbred. Jensen. Gives it to Tagsfe. Tagsef puts Rosenborg back in the lead. And that could decide it on extra time. Tagsef puts Rosenborg ahead. The dying moments of the game. Goal has really come out of nowhere. Altay have been on top of it so far. Piñares. Okay, it's Noah with the ball. It's with Fabinho. It's Gildred. Borkfeit. Borkfeit. Skaldbred. Skaldbred with the ball still. Poco cuts it out. Piñares. Yildirim. Kada. Poco. Rodriguez. He's caught by Hansen. This is their last attack. With Kappel. Gives it to Poco. Poco gives it back to Kappel and it's saved by Hansen. Hansen has just won the game for Rosenborg to put them into the final. Okay, it is the final semi-final tie. Salernitana versus Burnley. It is Salernitana versus Burnley and Rodriguez does get us underway in this semi-final tie. Rodriguez, Cork again. Cork out on the wing now. Gives it to McNeil. McNeil gives it to Weghorst. And it's cut out. Just about saving that goal. Koulibaly. What can he do with it? Koulibaly still. Gives it to Costanos. Costanos! And it's just over the bar. It's McNeil with the ball. Gives it to Weghorst. Weghorst now. Gives it to Rodriguez. Weghorst. It's McNeil on the attack now. It's back with Weghorst. Gives it to Rodriguez and it's cut out by the defender. With Brownhill now. Burnley on the attack. Brownhill. Is he going to have a shot? Brownhill still. Still Brownhill. Gives it to McNeil. McNeil has a shot and it's in the back of the net. Sepe can't reach it. And McNeil gets the first goal of this tie. Koulibaly making himself open. Mousset gives it to Costanos. Costanos. It's with Ribéry. Mousset. And it's cut out by Taylor. Great bit of defending. And it is half time here in this semi-final tie. This is the second half now. Costanos with the ball. Gives it to Maxwell Cornet. On the wing now, Maxwell Cornet. Tarkowski. Brownhill. Cork. With Rodriguez now. What can he do with it? Gives it to Weghorst. Weghorst with Rodriguez. Back to Weghorst. Can he score? Of course he can. Weghorst puts Burnley 2-0 into the lead. And it looks like they will be going through to the final. Mousset. Costanos. Mousset. What can he do with it? Gives it to Verdi. Verdi. Back to Mousset. To Koulibaly. Ribéry. Costanos. Back with Ribéry. Collins cuts it out. Rodriguez in the middle. McNeil on the wing. Is he going to cross it in? Gives it to Cork. Cork gives it to Cornet. Maxwell Cornet! And it's just wide of the post. Coulibaly plays it for Joel Obi. Joel Obi through on goal. Nick Pope with a brilliant save, which with Coulibaly still. It's cut out by Taylor. Joel Obi got it back. Joel Obi has a shot. Nick Pope saves it, and it's out. Unable to score. Even if it might have been a consolation, that's disappointing. Nick Pope with the goal kick, and most likely the last kick of the game, to send Burnley through to the final. And it's over. Burnley are in the final against Rosenborg BK. Salernitana not at their best, and it's a 2-0 victory for Burnley. Okay, is the final now. Rosenborg BK versus Burnley. And it is the Club World Cup. Rosenborg v Burnley. The teams lining up here for hopefully a great game. And here is the Burnley lineup. You can see a few familiar faces here. McNeil, the one who scored the first goal in the last tie. You got your 6'7" goalkeeper Nick Pope here as well. Here's your Rosenborg side. Not a face scan in sight. Let's get kicked off here in the Club World Cup final. Rosenborg versus Burnley. Skarsem now on the wing. Skarsem. Can he cross it in? Gives it to Raitan. Back with Skarsem. Raitan again. Vakia. Skarsem. It's cut out by the defender. It's Maxwell Cornet now. He was very underwhelming in the first semi-final leg. Rodriguez. It's Veghorst now. Gives it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez now on the attack for Burnley. Rodriguez. What can he do with it? Still Rodriguez. And it's cut out, and that will be a corner. It's Maxwell Cornet to take it. It's crossed into Veghorst. And it's an incredible block by Borgfight. Cornet with Brownhill. Gives it to Veghorst. Veghorst with Cork. Cork. What can he do with it? Still Cork. It's Henriksen to cut it out. And that is half time in the Club World Cup final. Veghorst with Cork. Cork, what can he do with it? It's cut out by Vagic. Tagzev. Good bit of play here. It's with Vakia. Taylor intercepts it. And it's Brownhill now. Giving it to Rodriguez. Hopefully getting a decent attack this time. Maxwell Cornet. It's a great bit of play from him on the wing. Can he get across into the box? No, he can't. He is tackled by Raitan. Brownhill gives it to Cornet. Back with Brownhill. Back with Cornet again. Cornet gives it to Cork. McNeil. Veghorst with Cork. Cork. And he's tackled. Cuts it out. Maxwell Cornet. Vidra gives it to Veghorst. Veghorst needs options. He gives it to Brownhill. And I think that will be full time. And that is full time now. It will be going to extra time in this final. Tan. Vakia. Now it's with Holzer. Back with Vakia. Holzer again. Vakia. Holzer gives it to Vakia. What can he do with it? Can he find an option? No, he can't. It's Tarkovsky. It's Cornet. Vidra now. Vidra. It's with Cork. Cork gives it to Veghorst. Last few moments. Veghorst gives it to Vidra. Vidra. Cornet. Gives it back to Vidra. Vidra. And he scores. The substitute scores in extra time. Still another half to go. But Burnley are ahead. Late on in this half, Burnley have got a goal. And that is the end of the first half of extra time. This is the last half of extra time and Burnley are 1-0 up. It looks like it will be going Burnley's way as Rosenborg haven't been at their best today. Gives it to Noah. Back with Akia. On the attack now, Rosenborg. Gives it to Hoff. Can you get there? Is hit out for a goal kick. It's Brownhill through on goal now. Brownhill versus Hansen. Brownhill scores. That is it. Burnley have won the Club World Cup. Brownhill puts them 2-0 up in the 118th minute. That will most likely secure the Club World Cup title. With Cork, Roberts, and that's it. Burnley have won the Club World Cup. The first ever Club World Cup goes Burnley's way over Rosenborg. Burnley will lift the trophy. It will be Tarkowski to lift it. And that will be the Club World Cup going to Burnley. And I will be making new kits for Burnley. That will be at the end of the video whilst like the recommended videos come on your screen. There will be a speed art of that and you will be able to download them. And this is it. Burnley are Club World Cup champions. The first ever MLY Club World Cup goes the way of Burnley. Rosenborg lose it to Burnley in the final. They got all the way but ended up losing it. Burnley probably not the favourites to win it, but they still did, beating clubs like Salernitana to it.